Hey, what's up? It's Cinemania Recapped. The movie starts with a flying spaceship in the space crashing down towards the Earth. When the spaceship falls on the ground, it destroys everything there. After this, we see a police team investigating that place, from which we later come to know that some dangerous creatures were being brought to Earth in that spaceship. Those dangerous creatures had a speciality that they would enter any human and take over them, or say that they would make them their host. They have been called symbiotes in this movie. One of those symbiotes gets free during the crash of the spaceship, and he keeps entering inside different people and killing everyone in the city. After this, we are shown the hero of this movie, Eddie Brock, who is still sleeping in his house until his lovely girlfriend wakes him up. Eddie's girlfriend's name is Annie, who is a lawyer by profession and is fighting a case for Life Foundation, which researches life on different planets in space. Eddie is a looser person in his life, who is generally fired from his job after some time after working at different places. Now we are shown a scene of a restaurant, where Eddie is talking to his girlfriend. Eddie tells Annie that he loves her very much. And after this, the scene shifts to Annie's house, where Eddie and Annie get intimate. When Eddie wakes up after being intimate, he sees Annie's laptop, where he sees a secret message of Life Foundation on that laptop, in which Carlton Drake, the owner of Life Foundation, is accused of the deaths of many people during his dangerous experiments. Life Foundation is an organization that searches for life on different planets in space, but under the guise of space research, this organization conducts its deadly tests on people, in which many people have died so far. Now we are shown a scene of Life Foundation, where Carlton Drake is seen showing false dreams to some innocent children. Today, Eddie has to interview Mr. Drake, in which he starts asking him about the deaths that happened during experiments instead of space research, due to which Mr. Drake gets very angry, and he stops giving the interview, and wonders how Eddie came to know about the deaths that happened during his experiments. Due to the argument with Mr. Drake in this interview, Eddie is fired from his job once again, and along with this, Eddie's girlfriend named Annie, who is fighting a case for Life Foundation, also has to lose her job, due to which Annie breaks up with Eddie in anger and leaves him. Now the scene shifts to some vehicles that come to Life Foundation at night, which contain the symbiotes that were taken from space to Earth. Now we are shown the time after 6 months, where Life Foundation is shown experimenting with symbiote on a poor and innocent creature. Now the scene shifts. We are shown Eddie at a shop where he sees a goon extorting money from the lady owner of the shop, but Eddie does not help her. Now we are shown Carlton Drake experimenting on a human with his doctors in Life Foundation Institute, in which he prepares a victim named Isaac for the experiment. He locks him in a glass chamber and hands him over to that dangerous symbiote. The symbiote tries to enter his body, and it enters inside him and tries to make him its host, but Isaac's body is weak to keep the symbiote in his body, so the symbiote kills that poor human as well. Now Carlton Drake's chief doctor named Dr. Skirt also comes to know that Drake's intentions are not good, so now she along with Eddie starts trying to expose Mr. Drake. At first, she decides to meet Eddie at the local store. She tells him that whatever he said during his interview with Mr. Drake is correct. Mr. Drake is sacrificing people in the name of space research. He is not doing anything for the welfare of humans. Eddie secretly enters the Life Foundation's lab with the help of Dr. Skirt, where he understands everything very well, that how Carlton is preparing to mix humans and aliens together. Here, Eddie meets the same woman, whom he found sitting on the roadside a few days ago. Her name was Maria. This shows that Mr. Drake chooses poor and helpless people for his deadly experiments. When Maria meets Eddie in the lab, she requests him to free her, and he does the same. But little did Eddie know that Maria already had a symbiote inside her, which later enters Eddie's body through Maria. After getting the power of the symbiote, Eddie becomes a superhero. Eddie starts eating and drinking like crazy. The symbiote that is inside Eddie is named Venom. After Venom comes inside Eddie, Eddie starts doing weird things. Annie's new boyfriend named Dan tries to find out about it. He treats Eddie Brock. Venom keeps talking to Eddie from inside. Carlton Drake finally finds out that Dr. Skirth is behind the escape of one of the symbiotes, so he hands her over to the symbiotes, that brutally kills her. Venom's symbiote has a weakness, that it cannot tolerate loud noises. Now to get his symbiote back from Eddie, Carlton Drake sends some of his goons to Eddie's house, where they first see Eddie doing strange things, and then start fighting with him to get their symbiote back. but Eddie was no longer as weak as before. Now he had the power of Venom inside him, with the help of which he beats those goons very badly. Now in the movie, Venom shows his real face to Eddie for the first time, in the mirror of a car parked outside. Now here, a great road fight takes place between Drake's goons and Eddie. Now Venom takes over Eddie, and starts riding his bike and saves his life. Those goons attack Eddie with countless drones, but Venom saves him again and again. Now for the first time in the movie, we are shown the Venom symbiote, which is much bigger than a normal human being in stature, and many times stronger in strength. After the road fight, Venom appears before Eddie for the first time, where he tells Eddie that he wants to go back home. So Venom makes a deal with Eddie, in which Eddie will help him to go back home. Now we are shown a great encounter between Venom and the police. Venom throws those policemen badly. Meanwhile, Annie also reaches there, and she gets very scared after seeing Eddie in the form of Venom, but Eddie explains everything to Annie that he is under the control of Venom. Now we are shown Carlton Drake in the Life Foundation Institute, where he is possessed by a little girl possessed by the symbiote. Now we are shown Eddie with Dr. Dan and Annie, where they tell Eddie that Venom is killing him from inside. So Dr. Dan, with the help of Annie, separates Venom from Eddie's body and locks him in a glass chamber, but Venom escapes from there. Now we see Eddie Brock, who is once again made unconscious by some goons of Mr. Drake with the help of a tranquilizer, and takes him with them. But Venom sees all this, who is in the body of a dog at this time. Now we see Eddie, who is held hostage by Mr. Drake, and he asks Eddie about Venom. And in the course of conversation, Mr. Drake also turns into a big symbiote and starts asking Eddie about Venom. When he does not tell about Venom, then Carlton Drake asks his goons to kill Eddie. Now the goons take Eddie to a dense forest to kill him, but then Venom reaches there to save Eddie by controlling Annie. Venom tells Eddie that the symbiote that is inside Drake is named Riot, and is the commander-in-chief of Venom, and he is many times more powerful than Venom. The Riot symbiote, which is inside Drake, plans to go to his planet with the help of a rocket, and bring millions of symbiotes like him to Earth, so he launches the rocket. Riot symbiote wants to destroy the Earth completely, but Venom does not want this, because now he starts liking the Earth because he is also a loser like Eddie on his planet. So now, he along with Eddie sets out to stop Riot. Now we are shown a fierce battle between Venom and Riot. Riot overpowers Venom, and he beats him a lot. Riot is so powerful that in the end he absorbs Venom inside him, due to which his strength increases thousands of times, but then Annie also reaches there, and rings a loud alarm, due to which Venom comes out from inside Riot's symbiote. Now Drake and Eddie start fighting with each other, but then Riot takes Carlton Drake in his possession again, and sets out to launch the rocket. Then Venom arrives there, and blasts Riot's rocket before it is fully launched. Both Riot and Mr. Drake die in this blast. We are shown that Venom also gets separated from Eddie in the blast, and he is also killed. Now we are shown Eddie and Annie together. Here both of them are talking to each other. But we also come to know here that Venom is still alive, and he is inside Eddie, and he keeps talking to Eddie all the time. Now at the end of the movie, Eddie goes to the same local store again, where once again the same goon comes to collect money from the lady shop owner. This time Eddie is not alone, he is watching everything from a distance. This time Venom swallows that goon alive, and Eddie comes out of that local store, and with this, the movie ends.